Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tom Worth Jr. Welcome to 2025. Today I wanted to talk about Elon Musk and his transcendence of nations. He is from South Africa. He's been in the US for decades now, and he doesn't appear to operate with regard to any sort of national allegiance. He is opportunistic, and this has served him well. It's enabled him to become the world's richest human, and I think we've seen some developments ever since he really engaged in helping get Trump elected, but continuing to, I think, confound a lot of people with what he's doing and what his goals are. And if anyone is looking at him as simply, well, first of all, as a Republican, he's not a Republican, he's not a Democrat, he's not a Trumper. He is, his allegiance is only to his own interests. And unlike Donald Trump, though those don't include, or those aren't solely consisting of being the richest person in the world and staying out of jail. He does like to be the richest person in the world, but he's not solely motivated by that like Donald Trump is. He's trying to do more things. I've heard that you can get a good idea for what his motivations are through reading science fiction and specific science fiction works. But also he's playing the geopolitical game really masterfully with the technologies, the companies he's got. He's got Tesla, of course, he's got SpaceX, and he's got Starlink, which is affiliated with SpaceX. SpaceX is his space play, he wants to go to Mars. That's really his ultimate goal. But Starlink is his network of low orbit satellites, which enable satellite communications wherever you are, outside of cell phone range or anything like that. You need terminals to make that work. He gets a lot of money from governments, from the U.S. government through SpaceX contracts, but also from foreign governments. And he has provided Starlink terminals to Ukraine since early, or really since, I guess, before the start of the Russian invasion. And that is what has enabled Ukraine to stay in the game. It's what has enabled them to communicate. Russia is constantly hacking and sabotaging the cellular networks over there. And this week, even though Trump, who is a huge Putin ally and has said he will end the war in 24 hours, at some point, I don't know when his 24 hours starts. I don't know if it's, I think a lot of us had assumed he meant right after he was elected, and I think he tried to do that in that call between himself and Zelensky with Elon Musk sitting in. But he may be referring to just, after January 20th, and that's more plausible. That's when he will have all the power. In the meantime, Biden has granted more billions to Zelensky in Ukraine, and the Congress has. And just this week, Elon Musk has announced that Starlink will be providing cell service over in Ukraine. And I think this is pretty big because that cell service has been hacked and has been brought down before by Russian hackers during this war. So again, we have Musk not really, I'm sure Putin probably would hate this, obviously. Probably Trump would hate this. But it's Musk just doing what he wants to do. He is acting like he holds all the cards. And he kind of does. Until Donald Trump actively turns on him, he's getting billions of dollars from the U.S. government. He's providing communications to Ukraine. He's in China with Tesla. Now, China is dominating the EV industry already, but they're allowing Musk and Tesla to still be over there. And so the question has been, what has he been giving to China in return? We don't know, but he is usually exempt from China's retaliatory policies. him and Tesla are over in China. So there is some sort of relationship there. There's some sort of exchange there. We don't know what it is, but this is Musk with Ukraine. This is Musk with the U.S. with Trump. This is Musk with China, and and that's just Musk. He's thinking bigger than the United States. He's thinking bigger than the planet. He's just thinking beyond all of this. So that's why so many of us were so incredibly disturbed that he completely went all in with Donald Trump. And we know why he did. We knew that Trump would be promising him things in the background, promising him government contracts, promising him access to things. No doubt that's happening, but I just don't think he is going to continue using that to help Trump. He's already in open warfare with MAGA people, and they don't like him. He doesn't like them. And Trump's just sitting in the background. He's stayed out of jail. That's all he wanted to do, and keep the coffers full. So he'll be able to do that. But he really doesn't care what Elon Musk does, I don't think. Elon Musk famously tears down rules and regulations wherever he goes, when he starts things or when he buys things. Look what happened to Twitter. He just doesn't like all the red tape, and that is his great appeal to so many. It's a great appeal to me too, except for his motives, and that's what's so scary about him is why he is doing all of these things. It is encouraging that he's going to provide cellular service in Ukraine. He's not blanketing the whole country. This does not mean that everyone in Ukraine will now get their cell phone service through Elon Musk's Starlink. It's going to fill in the gaps. It's going to be, not subject to Russian hackers. Also, about a month ago, the U.S. government agreed to pay more money to Starlink and to Musk for an upgraded kind of military grade version of their Starlink terminals, which would be less subject to hacking and more secure. You gotta say, how much can you trust Elon Musk to not share whatever's traveling over his communications networks with other governments? And all the while, Putin is silent while all this is happening. So is this just a ploy to get more communications of Ukraine flowing over Starlink than already do, and share those with Putin? That would be the obvious play. I don't think that's happening, because I do think that Putin's end game is nearing, but not necessarily him permanently, but with Russia. I don't think they can sustain this much longer. And now that Trump is president again and able to enact whatever he has wanted to enact to stay out of jail, I think he would be less worried about whatever dirt Putin has had over him all of these years now. I think Trump has everything he wants now. I don't think he fears Putin as much as he once did, and therefore is allowing Musk to do these things with Ukraine. This is all very complicated. More good news on the Russia front is the EU not getting its gas from Russia anymore. This has tapered off greatly since the invasion of Ukraine. Most of the gas supply to Europe, to the EU from Russia, flows through Ukraine, and there's pipelines there that were shut off today, January 1st, as has been the plan for a while. Russian gas, natural gas, used to be over 40% of the EU's natural gas supply, and they have whittled that down to just 8% now. And Ukraine officially turned off the gas pipes. so you're not getting Russian gas into the EU now. Just a few countries. Austria has a little bit now, and Moldova, which is not part of the EU, is more dependent still on Russian gas. Some of these countries that are little tiny countries where Russia can just use their gas to political advantage like they do are having to tell their people as it drops below zero at night now, as winter's really setting in, to gather in one room, to be in groups together, to hang blankets over windows. This is their backup plan because they didn't get a backup plan like the EU did. And the EU is getting liquefied natural gas from the US, also getting some natural gas from Norway, and they're prepared for this. It may make it a little more expensive than they used to pay with Russia, but Russia used to blackmail them whenever winter would roll along, and they can't do it anymore. And it's a pretty huge symbolic gesture for Ukraine to say, because Ukraine used to get paid. I think I read 800 million a year is what Ukraine's cut was from just having the gas lines run across Ukraine to the EU, from Russia to the EU. So they have lost an $800 million a year revenue stream, but Gazprom in Russia, who has all of the natural gas and sends it out to the EU, has lost $5 billion a year worth of revenue for the EU gas that they no longer supply. So this is, again, Ukraine has a lot of cards. They have an energy supply now. They have a food supply. They have communications. They have weapons. When Vladimir Putin is using North Korean soldiers to defend the Russian motherland like he is, and then they're dying by like in waves from these Ukrainian weapon systems, these Western weapon systems that Ukraine uses. It tells you how desperate Vladimir Putin is. He is relying on North Korean soldiers. He's relying on Chinese drones and Iranian drones, and that these are are not world class training and weapons systems. So we've already talked about his navy, the hit it took with Syria, how he wasn't able to defeat the dudes in the white Toyota pickups with the machine guns. He wasn't able to hold them off anymore. He's running on fumes now, and I don't know that Trump personally liked Putin, but he did highly respect him. And with Trump, it's always about what can you do for him, but it's also about power, and it's about winning. And those are the people he likes. That's why he liked Putin. That's why he likes Xi Jinping. He likes strongmen, dictators who win. And Putin's a loser now. And I don't think that Trump is going to be in his corner through all of this. Once you're a loser, you're a loser. And I don't see Trump really getting on board with Putin anymore outside of whatever blackmail arrangement they may be. So this is pretty interesting in 2025, and Elon Musk is the wild card for all of this, I think. I think, it was really a late ploy for him to jump all in with Trump. I think that's why he bought Twitter. But waiting until kind of the last minute when it looked like Trump was really going to lose, Musk pulled out all the stops to get him elected. That really makes things interesting. And luckily for us, Musk isn't just about MAGA. He's not about MAGA at all. And he's not just about Trump. He views Trump as a tool, just as Trump viewed him as a tool. So the question is, who's got more power now? Who's going to influence Congress now? It was a big deal when Trump went all in on backing Mike Johnson for Speaker of the House. And that vote is on Friday. And he can lose one vote from the GOP. That's it. If he loses 2 votes, then he's not going to be the Speaker without some Democratic support. So Trump went all in on that. But Mike Johnson has to also answer to Elon Musk, because Elon Musk can fund any challengers. And it's, so far Musk and Trump are playing nice, but at some point they're going to openly be in conflict with each other over something. Right now, they have been in the background a little bit, but they've been able to contain it. But once Trump doesn't just get to be on the golf course all day, every day, once he's inaugurated and actually gets stressed out about some things and has some things going against him that he's watching on the news each night, uh, that's when all bets are off. That's when it's going to get pretty cool, I think. In the meantime, Musk is just continuing to go full throttle all the time. I don't know where the dude gets all of the energy he has to run all of these things, but also to be thinking through all of these things, to do the geopolitical gaming he does all the time with all of these countries, with all of his companies. It's pretty impressive, really, and I just can't wait for him and Trump to be openly at odds over something. That's when it's going to get pretty cool. That's it for today. Happy 2025. Hope it's off to a great start for you all. And we will talk again tomorrow. See ya. Bye.